I guess you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
We can hear. We can hear.
Very good, very good. Let me just check if I have the. I'll share my slide. Should be on slideshow. Great. So we can start. You can see my slide, right? I guess so. Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, this is the last slide of in the last class we talked about andam tamah pravishantiye avidyam upasate tato bhuyayivate tamoya yau vidyayam rataha, and all the next two verses also we talked about. We will go into details of these three verses today. Okay. And a simple reason, just to remember, just as a review, we say that those who devote to work only enter into the world of thick darkness. Those who focus on intellectual premise or Vidya, they go into deeper darkness. So Vidya is Upasana, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. The Upasana, which is Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, that is Vidya. The even beyond it, Upasana is beyond all these things also, beyond Samadhi also. That's how they have made it, right? The meaning to, of course, if that is the Bhagavad Gita way of looking at it, but in the Upanishadic way, the object of meditation is directly Paramatma. So Atma word in the Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad refers directly to Paramatma. So there, Upasana is on Paramatma and Samadhi is absorption into Paramatma, absorption with Paramatma. The means of salvation is stated to be different. That is, if you do alone Vidya only, which is Upasana, that is not also correct. Okay. They goes to greater darkness. Those who focus on work alone go to thick darkness too. So both these individually done Vidya and karma, both of them lead the aspirant to darkness. So the means of salvation is stated to be different from Vidya and karma. And this was taught to us by great seers, rishis. So he who understands Vidya and Avidya together as mutually contributive will cross over the hindrances to Vidya by Avidya and will attain blissfulness by Vidya. So this is the meaning of this. We go into deeper understanding of this. Okay. And I wrote a note that there is a mistake in my grandfather's work. Maybe there is no mistake because I was thinking about it. I will delete that message eventually after this class. He may be talking about something which is valuable, and I didn't understand while I was checking with AI Studio. That is, with the AI tool, I was validating something, and the AI told me that he's wrong, and there is possibility that it is not wrong. Okay, let's see. I will try to explain that while going further here. So the verse presents two paths that lead to failure. What are the two paths? Those who devote themselves to only work, avidya, are said to enter the world of thick darkness. I'm just repeating what I said earlier, just for clarity. Those who resort into intellectual pilgrimage known as Vidya, that is also jnana or knowledge, they are said to go into even greater darkness. Verse 10 states that the true means to salvation is different from either of these two isolated paths. Vidya alone or avidya alone are both wrong. And verse 11 says the resolution to this problem is you should combine it. One must understand both Vidya and Avidya together, seeing them as mutually contributive. The role of Avidya is to help one cross over hindrances or death or mrityu. The role of Vidya is to help one attain ultimate goal of blissfulness or immortality. That is the role of Vidya. So the thing is, so we understand this in this way. We have to go further to get clarity. What is Vidya? Vidya is knowledge. And here, avidya is refers to work or karma. One question obviously comes up. How can avidya be karma? The word avidya is ignorance. Everybody uses the term avidya as ignorance. Why are you making it as karma? That's a question which comes up. So thing is that we need to think about and let's see what these acharyas are saying about it. So Vidya ordinarily means education. Some education is Vidya only. Vidyabhyasa means practice of education. Here it has special significance, incessant and blissful meditation. So Vidya is blissful meditation. Just a second. So incessant means continuous. This meditation has a preparatory stage of concentration, dharana, and a culmination in absorption, samadhi. So Vidya, preparatory stage for Vidya is concentration, dharana, and then it culminates in absorption, samadhi. Absorption in God, in Paramatma. The combination of these two processes, these three processes, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, meditation is dhyana. Dharana, dhyana, and samadhi constitutes a single practice known as samyama. Samyama means generally only Vidya only. That has all the three practices inside it. For meditation to be a true means of salvation or moksha, the experience of samadhi must be understood theistically, meaning the sense of being a knower and an experiencer is kept alive. So there is no combination or merger of the knower, known, and the object of knowledge. The knower is kept alive, and it is continuous even after the meditative state ends. The knower never merges into anything. That needs to be understood. So avidya, what is avidya? Avidya is defined as other than vidya. Not vidya is avidya. Na vidya, avidya. We can say that, right? And that whatever is not vidya is work. That we can let's assume that is true now, right? It is explicitly stated that avidya does not mean ignorance. So we should not take avidya as ignorance here. That's an important idea. We will understand this better as we go further. As it is described as a positive culture to be pursued. Why it is a positive culture? Avidyaya mrityum tirtva. Using avidya, cross over the mortality. Mrityu is mortality. So you cross over mortality using some positive means known as avidya. So it is already said. So it cannot mean ignorance here. So mere work is done with body consciousness for the convenience, happiness, and luxury of the body. Any work we do work, oh, I want to eat something, we'll just go eat something. That's more like for convenience, happiness, and luxury of the body. When work is guided by interest of others, it transcends body consciousness, and this leads to the conviction that self is more than just the body. So the thing is, we are not just taking care of our own body only. We are also taking care of other things which are duty. What are the duties here? So consciousness of duty is also still moral, right? Helping the poor, doing that, doing this for others, service, social service, that still becomes social and it becomes moral. And it has some self-interest and personal happiness also tied to it, but only it has a moral value. So true moral duty is not religious duty. So it is not free from self-interest. True religious duty involves conscience that is self-negating. Abnegative means you are not working for yourself. You are don't have any selfish motive, and renunciative, that means you give up something. So this its source is not just society outside, but a source outside it. So that is actually only from Paramatma you get this religious duty. So the avidya, in its highest sense, signifies a correct and pure consciousness of duty. So avidya is defined as duty here. And that comes as purely why it becomes a duty when you know God, when you know Īśvara. This duty is an awareness of impersonal, altruistic ordinance of the universal Lord. So the universal Lord has a rule here. He has, so basically being obedient to that and being cooperative to that is avidya. And he has given a law. And that should be followed based on the inborn nature of the human being. It could be jati, varna, based on that, whatever is correct for your type of birth and life and ashrama, that is stage of life, we have to do the work. So Vidya is meditation. The object of devotion should be the Lord of the universe, who is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. And that is what is established in the first 8 verses of this Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad. So Brahman is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent. And we have to focus on that person. To me, that is what the Saparyaga, Chakramakayam, Avaranam, all these things explained just recently, just previous verse. To maintain a continuous flow of concentrated thought on this Lord, the mind must be subservient to the intellect, which has by this point been enriched by reason and intuition. So the thing is, the mind should be enriched by reason and intuition. Intuition is samyama or upasana. Dharana, dhyana, samadhi is what intuition is. So you cannot have continuous flow of thought on Īśvara if your mind is not subservient to the intellect, and the mind will jump around to other objects like a movie or something. I need to do this, I need to do that. Something will take over. The mind is very, very it distracts by nature. But if you enrich it by, if the intellect, if you make the mind subservient, how do you make it? By enriching by reason and dhyana, dhyana, samadhi. That will become better, and then you can focus on the object. So this is definitely said earlier, or even said in the Yoga Sutras as Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyam Tan Nirodha. How do you control your mind? Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyam. Abhyasa is practice. Vairagya is desirelessness. These two have to be practiced. And here it is that Abhyasa and Vairagya are given in a slightly different way. That is Upasana is given here, reason and intuition. Great intuitionists recognize that is Dhiras and Rishis. So the Rishis, they say there are 3 types of energy, and the sage Parashara of Viṣṇu Purāṇa, he says Viṣṇu-śakti paraprokta kṣetrajña-śakti tatha para avidya karma-śakti tritiya shakti ishyate. This is in the Viṣṇu Purāṇa. Let us try to understand this verse. So the Viṣṇu-śakti, There are three types of energy. Viṣṇu-śakti is one of them. That is the universal energy, energy of the Lord of this. That is the energy of the Lord of the universe. That is Viṣṇu-śakti. It is profound, all-encompassing, most powerful. Kṣetrajña-śakti is the energy inherent in the individual Jivatmas. Kṣetrajña is Jivatmas. And the energy of that is known as kṣetrajña-śakti. That is the conscious energy. Avidyā-śakti, the third energy, which is also goes by the name karma, right here in this verse itself. See, what does it say? 1 second. Here, in the last Viṣṇu-śakti paraprokta kṣetrajña-kya tatha para avidya karma samjnanya. Avidya is karma. So the other name for avidya is karma. The samjna means name. That is the third power. Okay. So the third energy also goes by the name karma, according to sage Parashara itself. So it is not an invention of Vedanta Deshika here that avidya means karma. So even great sages have agreed with it. This is the inconscient energy or the nisus. Nisus is the impulse in matter. So matter has an internal energy to change. Even when you say matter, when you look at a cell phone or something, it doesn't move anywhere. It is sitting there. But what is happening to the electrons and other things? There is constant movement inside the matter. And there is an energy. What is the nisus? It's a creative energy. Just if you put mud somewhere, there is nothing. If you put a seed or something, the mud will nourish the seed. And if you put some water, it grows into a plant. So not only that, it's not just physical growth. Consciousness, it gives a arena, a platform for the consciousness to grow, interact. So there is some kind of inconscient energy in matter. But this matter takes the form of bodies. We cannot identify ourselves without a body, right? We have been, from day we are born, we have a body. So there's something we cannot run away from. Not, all along from birth to death, you cannot run away from your body. And these are the bodies which perform constant actions. So actions, the avidya, the word avidya has come to be synonymous with the work, because avidya means the potency of the body. The body is the matter. Body is matter, right? So the third energy, avidya shakti, is the energy of the body, and that is actually action or karma. So nisus is also a philosophical word. Sometimes, when my grandfather uses nisus as some kind of a philosophical word, I try to refer to, does it make sense? What is nisus? Nisus, I've never used nisus in all my engineering school or anything like that. He says I put a note here. Aristotle says theory of nature. A nisus refers to an inherent impulse, effort, or striving within matter that drives it towards a particular goal or natural development. It represents a natural, almost innate desire for yearning for things to become what they are naturally drawn to be, a kind of inherent motion or tendency within the material world itself. So that's the word which my grandfather uses in that sense, nisus. Then, here my grandfather goes into some other slightly different area. He gets some, some scientific idea, and then say the scientific, in science, they try to say the inconscient energy becomes conscient energy. This is true, because science doesn't believe in Jivatma as separate. That Mayank ji had sent a list of philosophy, Western ideology or consciousness theories, where is consciousness a derivative of matter? Is consciousness some kind of a derivation from the brain, right? In the brain has lots of neurons and all those things. So consciousness is about a derivation coming out of the brain. So there are so many theories. My grandfather tries to attack it and say, look, consciousness cannot come out of matter, right? So this is not the right way to look at it. So he goes into some comparison with Dr. N.K. Dutt, who wrote a book about comparing Western and Indian philosophers and all. That he says that's not there's no clarification. There's some problem there with that book. We don't need to worry about it. Then, so what is energy? That's an important question we need to understand. So energy is it's the karyopayogi karmantargatah tattva vishesha. So it helps it's in the causal substances and it produces effects. So that's what energy is. It's a power. So why are we talking about all these things? Means we cannot get away from our body. So when what do we need to understand? We have to understand the nature of our body, nature of external objects. So the thing is, our philosophers have defined two items, Dravya and Adravya. Dravya means substances that are classified. Dravya means that which undergoes modification. Avasthāśrayatvam dravyam. Shakti means the power of energy. So the thing is, Shakti is a power and it is not stated to be a Dravya. Shakti doesn't undergo change or undergo modification. A pot or a clay or something that undergoes modification. That's how they have defined it. These definitions are useful in understanding the external world. And we need to understand it. We cannot run away from the external world. You can sleep and say, I'm in deep sleep and I don't know anything at this point. You wake up, you suddenly see all the things around. Somebody will be shouting, don't you want to go to work today? And things like that. So we cannot get out of this universe. So we understand the universe by looking at, okay, what are the 6 dravyas? Paramatma, God is a dravya, which we don't know, which we don't find easily, right? Jivatma, individual self is dravya. This we know that because we are the Jivatma. And Jivatma has the dharmabhuta jnana, our intellect. And Mishra Sattva is a mixed matter in front of us. The material world is known as Prakṛti or Mishra Sattva. Mishra Sattva is there is no pure Sattva. It has got trigunas in it. Trigunas mean Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas are always there in this Prakṛti, the external world. And now we also have Shuddha Sattva, pure matter, the substance of the eternal world, Nitya Vibhuti or Vaikuntha. The Vaikuntha is made of Shuddha Sattva. And there is another entity called Kala. So that Kala undergoes some modification. They come with some definition, okay, whatever it is. The modifications are, seconds, hours, and things like that, whatever that is.
So can I ask a question? How is Paramatma Dravya? Is it because he manifests himself?
Anything which undergoes modification, right? Paramatma, even though substantially it does not go a modification, it associates itself with creation and dissolution, right? Because there is a stage, if Sukshma Chedachid Vishta Paramatma we say, that means in a very subtle state before creation, Paramatma is endowed and he has got attributes of Jīva and Jada or matter and souls in a subtle form, Sukshma, right? So Sukshma is defined as you cannot define it separately. They cannot name Jiva as separate, matter as separate, anything. Everything has become one there as a one combined substance called the Brahman. They say, fine. So Paramatma is a Dravya because he associates himself into before creation, during creation, and dissolution. So he has got states. Anything that has a state. What is a modification? State. Ice has a state, right? Ice, water state, and gas state or steam state. Like that, Paramatma is also associated with some states. That's what it says. Even Jivatma is originally the form of Jivatma. Jivatma does not undergo modification. But Jivatma undergoes association with body and also association with no body. Sometimes after death, there is no body and it goes to some other body. But it is always associated with a Sukshma Sharira or subtle body, which is the Indriyas, the senses and all those things. So mind, senses and all put together. So
Thank you.
That's how it. Okay.
Yeah, got it. Got that.
Okay. So Now, if you go further, the Adravyas are 10. That is, they are associated with substances. Dravyashrita. It always refers to a particular substance. What are the Adravyas? The Adravyas are sattva, brightness, goodness, rajas, activity, passion, tamas, inertia, darkness. These are three qualities of matter. Then you have other Adravyas. Shabda is sound, sparsha, touch, rupa is form, rasa is taste, gandha is smell. These five are associated with five great elements. Akasha means gandha, shabda gurukam akasham. Akasha is space. So the five entities called space, akasha, vayu, air, tejas, light or fire, water, up, and prithvi, earth. All these five elements have these specific distinguishing characters. That's all. So samyoga is relation. When there is they define something else, samyoga, it becomes a nyaya theory. We don't want to go there. Shakti is another adravya that is known as power. Okay. So these are the 10 adravyas. And that is same thing in the Tattva Mukta Kalapa of the Vedanta Deshika. He does Dravya, Adravya, and Adravya is the same 10 of them. And Dravya is Avasthashraya, it goes through modification. And he says Jada and Ajada. Jada means Parataheva Bhasmanatvam, that which is known to others only. Swataha Bhasmanatvam, it knows by itself, it knows itself. Right? Ajadam. In the external, Jada is Kala and Prakṛti is known to the others. So known to themselves, Pratyak Swasmai Bhasamanatvam is Jīva and Īśvara. Jīva, Īśvara know themselves by themselves, right? And Parasmai Eva Bhasamanatvam, it is known to others only. That is Nitya Vibhuti and Dharmabhuta Jnana. And that is an Ajada Vastu. Ajada, it is not material. Dharmabhuta Jnana is associated with Jivatma. Jivatma knows about Dharmabhuta Jnana. Dharmabhuta Jnana cannot know. Dharmabhuta Jnana can show other objects to Jivatma. So Jivatma knows only itself. Jivatma knows the external world using Dharmabhuta Jnana, which is constantly associated with Dharmabhuta Jnana. So Jivatma Swarupa, if you compare it with the sun, Dharmabhuta Jnana is the light of the sun. That's how it is related. Now, Nitya Vibhuti is the matter of the Vaikunta. That is, Ajada means it is not Prakritika, it is not Jadavastu, like Prakriti. Now, so what is truth? That's the question we are trying to answer. The truth is, it has the synthesis of three components. That is, three components. Is truth Brahman? Yes, Brahman is truth. And it has three components. A Lord or Īśvara who controls everything, innumerable selves and matter. These are the three. Jīva, Jada, Ajada. Jīva, Jada and Paramatma. Sir, Jīva, Jada and Paramatma. These three, each of these is distinguished by its associated power. We already talked about three powers. The selves have kṣetrajña-śakti. The Lord has Īśvara-śakti or Viṣṇu-śakti. And matter has Avidyā or karma. So we know that, right? And now, and matter has 10 different Adravya and everything. We went through that. This is also supported by Shvetashvetara, which is not in the 10 Upanishads. And Shvetashvetara's very purpose is to bring harmony to the rest of the 10 Upanishads, or the earlier 10 Upanishads. And Shvetashvetara says, Etatnyayam nityameva atma samstham. This has to be known, which is eternally right here with us. Natah param veditavyam hi kinchit. There is nothing to be known other than what it is here. Right here. What is that? Bhokta, the enjoyer. Bhogyam, the objects to be enjoyed. Objects which are enjoyed. Preritaram, the propeller, impeller, the guide, the person who makes us do things. Prerita Īśvara. So all these three, if you know, Sarvam Proktam, everything has been said to you. Trividam Brahmametate. This is the three forms of Brahman. Trividham Brahmametate. This is three forms of Brahman. So Brahman He is all these things. That is why Sarvam Khal Vidam Brahma, it says. But there are three types. That is Jīva, Jada and Paramatma. So this is a synthesis. Truth itself, Brahman is truth and it is synthesis. And the three forces are always at play. The divine energy, the supreme energy that controls everything. And that controls the individual energy and the material energy. That's all. So we are not independent any time. So there is a divine plan. That's why we are here and we are taking associations with so many bodies. So individual energy has the intellectual intelligence, but it has to come raised from the exclusiveness. Think, I am just here, I'm by myself, I am alone. That's not true. It does with the help of material energy, because material energy has to be cooperating. Material energy, why is the cooperation necessary? Simple thing. I have fever today. The material energy is not cooperating with me, right? So I am sleepy. Some material energy is not letting me have control of my mind, and I'm going to sleep, right? So material is constantly around us in the form of body, and we need the cooperation of the body to work properly. And are you managing the workings of your body? No, the body is being maintained by God. And that God is somehow unknown, hiding somewhere. And this is the part of cosmic synthesis of all three. So what is Jivatma? It is apperceptive. Apperceptive is self-aware. It knows itself, but it doesn't know too much about itself, but it knows that it exists. So it also has inseparable Jiva intellect or the Dharmabhuta Jnana. But who gave this Jiva the Dharmabhuta Jnana? Paramatma. So even the self itself is given by Paramatma to self. And Lord is free to do what he wants to do. Their energy is an additional faculty that allows them to know and realize this cosmic synthesis through reason and intuition. How do you know anything in this universe? Only two methods. Reason is any knowledge which you get out of external world by scientific means through different methods. You can study Vedas, you can study Anumana, inference, and Pratyaksha. All these things are there. But they all become reason. That is become Shravana Manana. That is listening to all knowledge, and Manana is thinking. But the Vidhyasana is where intuition comes. That becomes Upasana, that becomes even more powerful all the way into Samadhi and things like that. Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. So here, you cannot get out of matter. One can say, oh, okay, I will stop working. You cannot. Nahi kaschit kshadamapi jato tishtati akarma krite. A person cannot stay without work. He has to be doing something. So you cannot get out, stop action. Can you get out of body just like that? Suicide is one method, right? No, suicide is not going to work. The Jivatma will come and get another body somewhere, forcibly, without asking. You'll get a free body somewhere. So what happens is, how do you get off this mess called the material life? It only stops at a signal of the Lord. There's a train. You're already on the train. The train doesn't stop. It stops at the signal of the Lord. Means Lord is the person who can help you get off the train. You cannot jump off the train. So if you try to stop action or escape, it is not, you will kill yourself. That is why Atmahana, they are the slayers they kill themselves who don't do the work. So the divine work or the cosmic work of karma, which involves the karma yoga, which involves nitya naimittika karmas as well as karmas related to the devas, rishis, and everyone around you. You owe something to everybody. Rishi Runa, Pitar Runa, the Runa for the parents, Runa for the rishis, Runa for the devas. All these are included. If you don't do such, it is also killing, self-slaying. it is suicide. You'll go down and down and down, it go to Asurya Namate Loka, Andhera Tapasa Prataha. They go into a Naraka known as Asurya. The divine plan requires that individual energy should gain strength by cooperating with material energy, which has a cosmic purpose, rather than confronting it or trying to escape it. You can't escape, you cannot confront material energy. It is hard. Invincible. Matter is invincible. And it's not small. It is cosmic. Billions and billions of light years, it doesn't even end. We don't know the end of the world. So in simple terms, one should continue performing the work for universal good. And simultaneously, the manas should be focusing on intuition or dhyana. So the work is standardized into nitya-naimittika karma and kamya karma. Optional. Optional means desire-oriented. I want to go to a movie, that, this and all. They're all kamya karmas. The standardized work is given by the name Varnashrama Dharma. The religious work is Varnashrama Dharma. This Varnashrama Dharma constitutes the eternal standard or Sanatana Dharma. And this is what is signified as Avidya. So the Dharma involves work. The inconscient energy matter that is made active and purposeful. So you get the help of your body, which is a matter. And then you use that body to do a purposeful work, which is the divine purpose, dedicated and ordained by the God, by Īśvara to you. And you only Shastras can tell you what is it. And you implement it, and that can be implemented only by a Jīva, individual self. So, energy of the self is described as twofold, but operating as a single unit. That is Dharmabhuta Jnana and Jīva Swarupa Jnana. Jīva Swarupa Jnana is apperceptiveness or self-awareness. Dharmabhuta Jnana is intellect that is conscious of other things around us. So self can, when it goes and looks at the divine energy outside, by honoring the divine law, and that law is known as Ritam. Ritam Swadhyaya Pravachanejam is there in the Taittiriya Upanishad, right? You have to honor the rhythm of the universe. There are devatas. Devatas need you owe something to them. There are your teachers, Vedic teachers, rishis. You owe something to them. The Panchamahayajnas, all these are important. They're all coming under karma or avidya, right? The mind is the self's closest point of contact with matter. Until the mind becomes friendly, you cannot influence matter. You will become overpowered by matter. Your matter will control you afterwards, and that's not good for you. So work should be done as a duty, and even dhyana or intuition should also be done. Both are essential and both should be combined. Pursuing either one is suicidal. In the 9th chapter, in this 9 to 11, right? The 9th verse itself told you that it is bad. It's suicidal. Both pursuing individually takes you to hell of darkness of different kinds. That's all. So here, karma yoga is work as discipline, and that is the work as, and there is a small difference between karma yoga and duty. Duty is nitya naimittika karma. That means tarpana and all those things are naimittika karma. Nitya is like sandhya vandanadi karmas or nitya karmas. Based on where you are born. Now it is not there for everybody. Some people have nitya karma and naimittika karmas. For others, it could be probably charitable works or helping others, be a good citizen in this universe and support other people in the universe, kind of thing, right? There's always different kind of work based on the varna ashrama dharmas. Right? So now nitya naimittika karmas are supporting karma yoga. That's what we need to understand. That is very clearly explained in the Bhagavad Gita. So in the Muṇḍaka, there is a confusing work, right? It says the yajnas are leaky boats. Those who considers that works to be highest good are called fools, mudaha, who return again and again to the cycle of old age and death. So that is said in the Muṇḍaka Upaniṣad. But in contrast to that, the Viṣṇu Purāṇa says one has to do work. One has to do yajñas. So the yajñas themselves, two different views are there in the Muṇḍaka. Muṇḍaka insults and devalues yajñas or leaky boats which will not carry you out there. You will die. In one way it says. But the Viṣṇu Purāṇa says, one has to do yajñas also. See this. He says, the verse in kṣetrajña-śakti place, it says, sopi, yaja sopi bahun. Okay, what is that? Where is that? Where I put that verse somewhere. I messed up that. Yaja sopi bahun. One second. Hold on a second. Where did I put? The verse I forgot to put here. I'll put it. I think it says Yaja sopi bahun. Let me read it here if I can get that verse here. Yaja sopi bahun subahun yajñan jnanavyapashrayah Brahma Vidyā and Avidyā tartum mrityum avidyaya. This is the verse 6, chapter 6.12 in the Viṣṇu Purāṇa. That Kṣetrajña did number of yajñas, but he was intent on jnana. He was following jnana, like even studying scriptures and dhyana and everything like that. Brahma Vidyā Adhishtaya Tartum Mrityum Avidyaya. He did all these things because yajñas are avidya. And in that avidya, you can cross over mortality. So, crossing the death, mrityu, is same as mortality. You crosses death with avidya or yajñas. It is very clearly said. So, we have to, so the Muṇḍaka Upaniṣad has to be understood in a different way. That is for a second class because it comes in Muṇḍaka Upaniṣad anyway. While dealing with Muṇḍaka Upaniṣad, we'll go into depth because it will go into very, very big circles of depth, and we don't want to get distracted now. But our acharyas have said Viṣṇu Purāṇa's view is correct. So we should not give up yajñas. That is for the right people with that too who wants to do upasana. Whoever is doing bhakti yoga cannot give up yajñas. That we need to understand. So now, the same thing is given in a text form here. He says, King Kṣetrajña, after taking recourse to intuition is dhyana, and establishing himself in knowledge of Brahman, but performed numerous sacrifices. The explicit purpose of the sacrifices was to overcome death or mrityu, which is identified as a defining characteristic of matter. This provides a model where avidya or work or duty is a tool used by one who is already established in vidya. That is why the mistake I sent, I will delete that mistake. I thought there was a mistake in my grandfather's book. There is no mistake there. I will delete it. I'll tell. So even avidya is consummative to vidya. Avidya is helping vidya. How does avidya help vidya? By removing obstacles of mortality. So avidya is necessary and also consummative to vidya. Vidya cannot succeed. Vidya or upasana cannot succeed if avidya cannot help you. Avidya are the yajñas and all. Right? Yeah. So Īśvara Purāṇābhyam Vedam Samupa Brahmayate is given. So we have to understand, give value to Purāṇas, and then only we will understand the Vedic knowledge properly. So he says that people who don't understand the Vedas itself fears a person of shallow learning, because such a person will betray the true meaning. So Vedas are afraid of the person who doesn't understand properly. So these are all secrets you can understand only by Acharya Sambandha. By knowing our great Acharyas, you will know what is the right way. Otherwise, you will get confused by just listening, looking at one word, Muṇḍaka Upaniṣad separately and Viṣṇu Purāṇa separately. You should not do that. What is a Vyakhyana and Upabrahmana? Just give the definition here for people to understand. Vyakhyana is a commentary on the individual words and sentences. Upabrahmana is a commentary on the total sense, which is what the Purāṇas and Itihasas provide. Upabrahmana, it gives a total picture of the whole idea, whole concept. That is the Upabrahmana. And you can find Upabrahmana is nothing but in the Purāṇas and Itihasas. Now, based on the principle, one second. Based on this principle, the text says the Viṣṇu Purāṇa's explanation is correct, and understanding the work as religious duty is an essential partner to Vidyā. To understand the relationship between the three energies, Viṣṇu Purāṇa shows three power blocks, each a combination of two powers, Shakti, referencing the concept of Dravyas and Adravyas. Divine energy, individual energy, and that is the energy of the matter, right? Divine energy has God plus Shuddha Sattva. There are two things there, right? And individual energy is self plus intellect. Individual has a self plus the Dharmavata Jnana also. The nices or the matter, the striving force in matter has matter plus time in it. Okay. So, he just says Vedāntic thought is superior to scientific thought. You don't have to go deeper into it all the time. Okay. So God is Swatantra, unconditional, right? It is not conditional, not restricted in any way. Free power. And he becomes energy through pure matter. So he's working through matter. He's formless and impersonal and absolute. He's also personal and absolute in an eternal form to experience bliss and receive service from emancipated souls. The eternal personality of Godhead is not a limitation of his absoluteness, but fulfillment. He himself plays around and interacts with this everybody. He's like the father, mother to everybody too. So he has relation. God includes energy of both mixed matter and individual self. He is related to all of us. His power is absolute and supreme over the other five dravyas also. So the Bhagavad Gita says, names this power Yogamaya. So Yogamaya is the power over everything is Yogamaya. Power over matter, power over cells, everything is Yogamaya. Where is it said? Naham prakasha sarvasya Yogamaya samavrataham. Gita 7:25 says, I am not manifest to everyone. I don't show myself to everyone. Yogamaya samavrataha. Being wheeled by my Yogamaya. I am covered by my own Yogamaya, so I don't present myself to anybody. Here, Ramanuja.org and Shankaracharya differ in their knowledge, differ in their interpretation of Yogamaya and Yogamaya, right? Why don't we take this up next time? We have finished about 15 minutes now. If you have any questions, you can ask now. We can pick up this verse from tomorrow.
No, I'm not able to everything. I'm not able to associate karma with avidya. How can karma? How? I'm not able to associate karma with avidya. It is all karmas are avidya.
Okay. See the thing here. See, avidya means not vidya. Okay.
Yeah.
What is vidya? Vidya is knowledge.
Knowledge. Removal of avidya.
Vidya is knowledge. No. Yeah. Let us go one step by one step. Vidya is knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Avidya is not Vidya.
Yeah.
Right? And Avidya, whatever is not Vidya, is actually the power of the universe and also the power of the individuals which are doing action using the matter.
Okay.
It is not pure Vidya or meditation or pure knowledge of the individual. It is action done by the individual because that individual is always connected with matter. The body is connection, right? So this avidya is nothing but the power in matter used by the individuals. That is power of body used by the individuals to take a particular action. I can do anything. If you do the very desire-oriented actions, I will get into trouble. If I do nitya naimittika karmas and karma yoga, I will not get into trouble. That's simple as that.
Yeah. It is a little bit clear now. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
I have a comment. Even in Bhagavad Gita, that amanitvam adambitvam, that particular portion, there also Bhagavan says it is matter only or the Prakrti only when used in a specific way, it will lead to liberation.
True. That is true. We need cooperating matter and it has to be used properly. In fact, in the amanitvam, adambitvam and all, there are the gunas there. Atma gunas to be developed. So you have to develop and work and get the right attitude, right gunas. So that's what is mentioned in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, amanitvam, adambitvam and all. Yeah. Any other question? Okay. See, these concepts will help you understand the relationship with Vidyā, Avidyā first. Okay. And then slowly he develops. That's how my grandfather looks at connections, and then slowly the subject is developed. Tomorrow we will deal with the rest of the verse and also why there are some complications. It's not easy to finish this Avidya Vidya verse unless you study Shankaracharya's whole Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad. You will not understand why he comes up with a wildly different interpretation. Okay, so we'll take one step at a time now. Okay, if there are no questions, I'll stop here.
Is this useful? Truth as a synthesis. Truth as a synthesis of the three components of Īśvara, Jīva, and Prakṛti. Is this a Viṣiṭa-Dvaitic view or the definition? Or I mean, Shankara, does he accept this synthetic view as a truth?
See, he says truth is only Brahman, rest is Maya. Okay. So he says absolute truth is only one truth, that is Brahman only. And then the external one, everything is created because of ajnana. That is the very appearance of the universe. Universe is the creation of your mind. That's his view. So but his relative truth, he accepts it. Jīva, Jada, Paramatma as three entities, as relative truths, he definitely accepts it. So in the absolute view, he says there is only one Brahman. And Jīva, Jada are only adjuncts, upadhis, which are unreal. Upadhis are not real. Upadhis are not eternal. Any other question? Okay. We'll go to the next, tomorrow we'll have the class at 8 p.m. Okay. Asmat Gurubhyo Mahatma Parama Gurubhyo Mahatma Sarva Gurubhyo Mahashri Kritam Brahmane Mahashri Lakshmi Samatva Brahmane Lakshmi Havashri Lakshmi Havadana Brahmane Mahavavan Shri Kritam.
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram.